Welcome to Recovering Addict. How you guys doing tonight?
What?
Glad you are here.
I realized I wore the shirt today.
What shirt you wear? Oh boy. He wore a green shirt. That's why you can see through link tie. If you happen to just pop on this as a pre-recorded video, just let me tell you where you're at. I'm LT and I'm a recovering addict.
I'm Felice. I am the wife of a recovering addict.
And I'm Link. I am the son of a recovering addict.
That is correct. So 2 times in my life, drugs or alcohol has taken me to where I did not want to go. I hit rock bottom 2 times. In the early 2000s, I was a meth addict who ended up homeless, committing a second-degree felony. I faced 1 to 15 years in prison. I did a year in jail, halfway house, and then a year in jail, then a halfway house, and then I was on probation. I got clean, and then in my late 30s, I became an alcoholic where I drank fifths of whiskey a night. Towards the end, had to check myself into detox and then into 5 months into an IOP program. Once I transitioned out of there, which was last February, not too long ago, I've got about 6 months under my belt of recovery, and my focus now is recovery. And the channel you are here looking at is dedicated to recovery, news about recovery, family recovery, and Al-Anon filled with the wife who has to deal with an addict who has never been an addict, children affected by an alcoholic father. Here you can get all the information you need. How is everybody doing today? It's good to see you. Just saw you all over there at James's channel. That was a good one. Good one. Hey, Daniela, how you doing today? I'm glad you are on the show. Veronica, welcome. Cody, what's going on, brother? Mama of Kenny, Facebook user. Hey, hi. Welcome.
Sweet.
That's cool. Murd, what's going on, brother? Who else we got in here? Tracy Shoot. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. There's a couple new faces I haven't seen around here on here tonight. Bob, what's going on, brother? How you doing? You hanging in there?
I know a kid named Weston Shoot.
Oh, Tracy. I know Tracy. Hey. Welcome. This is Tracy's first night. We were in a Zoom meeting actually earlier today about 1 o'clock. I think it was 12. Yeah, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Zoom meeting. Those Zoom meetings, I'm digging them. I know it's a new thing for everybody because technology these days, or because we're used to that close fellowship. Some of us came out of our comfort zones to become close and get out of isolation in the first place, just to get into a recovery program like AA or NA, where you're encouraged to fellowship, get to know people, and not only get to know people, but get to know people on a deep level and let them know you on a deep level by getting whatever's on your chest off and talking about your feelings. And you know, us big tough guys that can drink gallons of whiskey and sniff lines of meth, we're too cool to talk about our feelings. You know what I mean? Until we've destroyed ourselves and hit rock bottom and then realize, that's probably a good idea. So we will start off the night. Daniela, yeah, we're glad you are here. Did I say that right? Daniela. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Let us know about yourself. If you're a recovering addict, what was your drug of choice and what is your sobriety date? We like to write down sobriety dates and do little cool things. Our first one was a test run yesterday with Veronica. We celebrated her 10 days of sobriety. We were excited to see that. We know we can't give away these key tags online, but we can do little cool stuff, give you a high five or two. But first, let's look at a little update in the coronavirus here in Utah.
Wait, can I start us off with the quote?
Start us off with a quote, buddy.
Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud.
Try to be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. That's right. That's on you to have a good, positive attitude, right? I like that, Linky.
Police, what kept you around?
So the latest numbers, and we will get into that. Who said that? Cody?
I was reading comments. Yeah.
Okay. You want to jump right into this? We can get to the news in a minute. Hold on, Veronica. Let me back up a little bit in the comments. Veronica says, I just made my homemade apple crisp, my grandma's recipe. Everyone in the house fell asleep, so I'm hanging out and eating dessert alone. Just wanted to let you know, I think your daughter was on Nicole's channel. She wrote, I hate you, just so you know. She got blocked. I hope all is well. Millie!
My daughter?
Yeah. Did it say Felice Weaver? If it said Felice Weaver, then it may have
I
been.
don't hate you.
She's 8. She knows everything. She thinks she's a woman now.
She's terrible.
Tracy says, I was addicted to more.
That's your sobriety date right there, Tracy?
4/20/2018. 4/20. Imagine that.
Oh,
How'd you
no,
get away with
yeah.
that one? How'd you not partake that day?
All right, I will answer your
All
question.
right, Cody, we are here. So Felice with a Z, like
Yeah.
Feliz Navidad.
Felix.
What kept you around? I don't understand, but my wife sticks around too. I know, I tried, bro. I'm surprised she
He asked
hasn't
me a
dipped
lot to
out.
divorce him.
A lot of our fights were like, "You want a divorce? Get out then. Bye. See ya." And she wouldn't leave.
I was like, what? Where did that even come from?
I could be a prick when I was drunk. Yeah.
We could be fighting over colors, and he's like, let's get divorced. What?
That's the alcohol talking.
But what kept me around? I love him. That's what keeps me around.
Soulmates.
He's my best friend. He's my soulmate.
Tracy's a pie.
That's what keeps us women's around.
She calls me her crab or something like that.
He's my lobster.
Lobster. That's
Have
what
you
it
guys
is.
seen Friends? It's on Friends.
Oh, geez. Don't even tell me that.
Lobster.
They're lobster.
Well, we got to make sure it was her. Go get Millie. Let's see if this really was her.
Yeah, and when we got married, I said, "You're the only one. I'm not getting divorced, so you better love me for real if you're gonna marry me."
Yeah, she's only 8.
Yeah.
No, Cody, that's why we're here, because I'm an addict. I've been a drug addict my whole life. I got the typical addict story. Divorce, childhood tragedy, that kind of stuff. Started young, partied hard, jails, institution, that close to death, detox centers, probation officers, homelessness, lies, the whole package. I got it all. When I do drugs, I do them to the fullest extent. And then she has never been an addict. I've seen her drunk one time, and that's because I peer pressured her to death.
And we didn't have kids. It's like, all right.
Yeah. And so
But
this is the Al-Anon type feel here.
Cody, if your wife's anything like me, she sees the man that you can be. And she knows it's there, and she's willing to wait for you to see it too.
She sees what you don't see. And one time, even after in sobriety, were you on Nicole's channel today and told her you hate her? I hope not.
That face says no.
That's her right there. Well, she says no, but we'll find out. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So I thought I was all good, or I knew I was as a drunk that I was a horrible person, especially towards the last 2.5, 3 years of it, because it was an every night thing, constantly a pint, and then it turned into a fifth, and then gallons on the weekend. And at post sobriety, I come off the alcohol and I feel like that feeling. You're withdrawn. I still get there, irritable and all that stuff. And I asked her, because I heard somebody in my IOP, I went to Action Recovery here in South Ogden. Said, am I being ornery and all that stuff? I feel like I'm being hurled. And she's like, no, you're like 10 times better than you were when you were in your active addiction. So they see something in us that we don't see. And that's why they stick around. What's up, Antonio? Glad you're here, brother.
We have hope for a better future.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for you to realize it too.
And the future is much brighter now with sobriety, man. It's like my eyes were open the first time. I realized that being a 40-year-old man, I only have, if I die statistically speaking at 72, just like that is the average death of the person on earth. If I die at 72, I have 32 years left. If I were to write my obituary right now, what would it say about who I was? And if I live to be another 32 years, can I rewrite what my obituary would say? What did I do for this world? And it's got me thinking all kinds of stuff. That's why I started this channel. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And that's why I'm trying to get out of the job, because I don't want to wake up and do my 9 to 5 anymore. I feel like I'm wasting my life when I could be doing something to help people. This virus, unfortunately, presented a great opportunity to come on live. I love technology. I love the Zoom meetings because I love technology. I had a lot of fun on there today. Me and Tracy, we were doing this. We were chucking hearts at people. Woo! Trying to stay muted, but still throwing love. It was fun. It was a good, fun Zoom meeting. I seen one guy even put us in a drawer and shut the drawer. I was like, did we just get put in a drawer?
Watch it for a while.
It was cool. Let me tell you what's going on here in Utah with the coronavirus. So what I like to do here on these meetings is give us a little bit of news. Give us a little bit of news on addiction. Not too much, because I know you guys are sick of the coronavirus news. And our main topic and focus, when the comments die down and the conversation starts to go flat, we jump into this book. We're currently on chapter 7. We just finished chapter 6 as a group. If you've been here since the beginning, you know that we've been going through this. And that's what we'll continue to do is go through these books, learn new things. It's very educational. It helps me. I'm new in sobriety. I asked my counselor, hey, I need a book to get into. And my relapse prevention plan was to read a new book every couple months. And he suggested this Staying Sober by Terrence Gorski. And also we have a $50 giveaway. And obviously nothing's free. There is a little catch. But I plan on giving somebody who participates $50, swiping it to you, because we're blessed and I want to give and give. And the more that we're blessed, the more we can bless you guys. So anyway, in the news, the latest numbers from Utah Department of Health shows that at least 719 Utahns are now documented to have coronavirus. That's up from 602 yesterday, Saturday. More Utahns have been tested for the virus. The department reports that nearly 14,000 Utahns have been tested. So nationally, there's 124,763 people are documented to have COVID-19, according to Johns Hopkins University. So far in the U.S., 2,612 people are reported to have recovered from the virus, and approximately 18 Americans have died. So here in Utah, since March 15th, there was reported 28 people, and then all the way to March 28th, just a week later, it is up to 602, and now today 719. So it's coming. It's in here. What we're doing is a good thing. When you're in the Zoom meetings, keep your head up. When it was my turn to share on the Zoom meeting, I just talked about how we get to live our motto just for today. I'll take another 24. You're day by day by day by day. Another thing that's happening is the coronavirus pandemic has made the opioid epidemic even worse. This is on BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed says deaths from drug overdose are likely to increase during the coronavirus outbreak because of the disruption of recovery routines and access to treatment, according to counselors and people whose rehabilitation depends on daily care. So lockdowns and social distancing have forced doctors, social service, and support groups to shut down, reduce hours, or move online, leaving people who use drugs and those in recovery to face greater risks. One more paragraph. The coronavirus emergency has also prevented new problems for people being treated for opioid use disorder, the medicine term for opioid addiction, at methadone clinics. In order to collect their daily doses, patients typically have to go in person, which has made social distancing impossible for some. Service providers in New York, which are now at the epicenter of the U.S. coronavirus outbreak, say they don't have the resources to hand deliver for all the patients who are likely to become ill and require quarantine. And they don't want to give this drug to them in a mass quantity and say, here you go, chop it up yourself and use it day by day. Because if it were me, it would be gone that day. And then I would be sick and then I would be screwed. Or I would OD. I would just probably use it in OD. That's what us addicts do. Yeah, know what I'm saying? Where are we at here? Leonard and my family. You know it. Thanks for the title. Where are we at? You're supposed to control this when I'm reading. You know that, right?
You read.
When I'm reading and I'm in chat mode, when I have lost and I've gone tunnel vision talking and just blabbing my lips, she's supposed to be in control of the comp. She's kind of the on-site monitor producer, whatever you want to call those people.
I got sucked into that.
And she's failing miserably. So there may be a position open. You can shoot a resume to our private Facebook page. I will be going through. I will be going through resumes. Link, what you got for us, bud?
Got dumped from the dating site.
Slow down. Enjoy the simple pleasures in life. Arthur Unknown.
Who's Arthur?
It's Arthur Unknown.
He's unknown.
Author unknown? What was it?
Yeah,
Slow down and what?
Slow down and enjoy the simple pleasures in life.
Slow down and enjoy the simple pleasures in life, which most of us don't have a choice right now. We are stuck. We are locked down.
Got a good one. We're at Rena. That's where we're at.
Did we read Cody's?
Oh,
wait. Antonio said 26 personal trainer alcoholic. Shaking my head. Can't get fit drinking beer. Way to think about it. It's what I would obituary. Yeah. What would your obituary say? You guys ever think about that? If you were to die right now?
mine would say
A lot of people are worried about their reputation. What is your reputation as an alcoholic drug addict? Man, I'm the same way. I wonder what my wife and kids say
Doesn't
about me, and I
Raina's
hope
one.
at the end of the situation, some family is doing this with, yeah.
This is me.
Raina, life brings people together. Love keeps them together. Found in my memories. Awesome. Merc, thanks for the title. I want to know who this Facebook user was. I wish I would have their name. That would be cool. Speaking of cool new technologies, the platform that I use to stream is now streaming here and on Facebook. So if you're a member of our private Facebook group, you could catch us there as well. All right, where are we at? Bob, around here, it's the meth epidemic. We've been seeing some more heroin. You know what? When I was in the early 20s and I was a meth addict, I saw a ton more meth than I saw heroin. I did heroin once. I smoked it. I watched a couple of my friends do it, and it didn't look fun. They just laid down and scratched their nose. And I was like, that doesn't look fun. I like to get all spracked out, tear my car apart, and wonder what happened. You know? Hey, thank you. You know who? Oh, snap. It's James. Is that James throwing some love or some flowers? So my sister's doing my obit. She's writing it right now?
You got a great sister, Rena.
Yeah, you do.
She'd be a good person to write it.
All right, so this sober living, staying sober book. Chapter 6 is what we're learning is that relapse syndrome is not just drinking. Like Antonio, I heard your confession on Sober James's channel. You didn't relapse today. Relapse started who knows when for you. Because relapse is when we start going down this path, the stinking thinking starts taking over, and it's presented to us with denial that we're okay. The stress of what's going on right now, the worst enemy of an addict and that alcoholic right now is isolation, and all of us just got snapped into isolation. And so how are we handling stress? How are we handling these huge changes? We don't even know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know what announcement on the news is going to change our lives tomorrow. Some of us are going to work tomorrow. Some of us are not going to work tomorrow. Some of us are worried about a paycheck. Some of us are not. So how are we handling these things? Are we taking and learn with the tools that we've learned in AA? We talked to our sponsors, encouraged and strengthened our sponsors? You know, the guy that's helping strengthen you needs to be strengthened as well. We learned that recovery is like walking down or walking up a down escalator. As soon as you stop moving, you are into relapse. You are going down. It's impossible to stand still. A relapse process does not only involve the act of taking a drink or using drugs, it is the progression that creates the overwhelming need of alcohol and drugs. A lot of people get this stress, they get depressed, they get anxious, they start living in their character defects, they start thinking about suicide as an option, they start thinking about things of that measure, and then they look at alcohol or drugs as an option and go, well, that's better than killing myself. So they jump on that board to alleviate the pain. You got the pain that comes, which is the stress of change and all that kind of stuff. You choose alcohol or drugs equals instant pleasure or gratification, which is plus future pain. And then if you replace that alcohol and drugs with pain after you're in your sobriety, if you have pain plus compulsive behaviors equals instant pleasure plus future pain. So we can't just replace our alcohol and our drugs with compulsive behavior. We have to have positive outlets. We have to learn how to handle these things. Okay?
Like your shirt's killing me.
I can see right through you, bud. So we learned that the relapse progression is change, right? Change causes stress. Stress causes denial, and that affects our post-acute withdrawal. And you get stuck in that for a minute. You do a little circle through that. You get stressed out. You're in denial. Hey, you okay? No, I'm good, bro. I got this. I'm good. And that's when you tell people, that lie. You tell yourself that lie. You're in denial. Again, you brought denial over from your drug addiction or your alcoholism. And then your post-acute withdrawal syndromes happen, right? And then all of a sudden your behavior changes. You stop going to AA meetings. There's a breakdown in your social structure. You're not calling the friends that you used to. You don't want to be around. You're isolating. Unfortunately, we're isolating now because of that. Then you lose control of your judgment. You lose control of your behavior. Your options reduce. And boom, you will go back to using drugs or alcohol. Or maybe worse in some cases. Some people go out and commit suicide. Some people choose the drugs and they use too much and end up overdosing. Where are we at here?
Oh, right there.
I love the fact that your family's involved. And I love the fact that you are able to do this and not care who knows. I'm scared to let people know. Cody, I was too at first. And then I was scared when I first actually jumped on this channel. I only shared the fact that I was even, because when I first started making videos, I was producing them. I got 10 produced videos that I would plan, write out, shoot, edit, and upload. And I only let a couple people from work know about it because I was like, I don't know, because if you go back and watch my very first video I uploaded, it's my story. And my story is pretty revealing. And a lot of people at work, and I work in a place where you don't want people to know that about you. You know, you're supposed to dress nice. You're supposed to stand up in front of some pretty supposed important people, you know. And I didn't want them to know. But then you know what? I said, screw it. I don't care. I may only live another 32 years, statistically speaking. And I'm going to help as many people as I can. If I can get on here and I can bring people together, especially in a time like this where there's this virus, the unknown, we have to live just for today. I'm going to do it. And I kind of believe with the times of change, and we looked at with the Vietnam vet yesterday compared to the soldier that comes home from Iraq today. One was spit on when he got off the airplane. The ones today are come back and they're heroes. And then we look at the crack epidemic and we look at the addicts. Then they were junkies. Screw them. Arrest our way out of this epidemic of crack and drugs. But now there's treatment facilities. There's billboards that says that was somebody's family. That's a brother, a husband, a daughter. So there's a shift in the way that we look at addicts. And so I think anonymity, in a sense, is kind of going out the window. A lot of people still don't dare to throw themselves out there because there is still that leftover stigma of the way people look down upon you. Maybe if you're trying to get a job, or if you hold a job with prestige and you're worried about what your employer may think, you know, I understand. I totally get it. Yeah. But I think in another 10 years, anonymity is going to be gone with all this online stuff. Trust me, there is no more anonymity. If you were on a Zoom meeting today, you waived your right to anonymity. You may think you have done this privately through a private site, but I have the capabilities here on my computer to put a thing around that. I'm not trying to scare anybody away from Zoom. I totally love Zoom and I love technology, but when you throw yourself on the internet, you are not anonymous, period. Because I could have recorded that whole thing and shared it somewhere else. You know, that's not to scare you away from Zoom. I'm just making a point that times are changing.
Yeah, it's time to change the culture.
Culture's shifting, no doubt about it.
There needs to be more empathy for the addict.
Yeah. And there is more empathy for the addict. You got treatment. Yeah. There's billboards, you know. Yep. The epidemic isn't arrest every person you see doing drugs like it used to be. The war on drugs with the Reagans and just say no. It's people are trying to. I mean, the Trump administration gave Utah a ton of money. I just read an article too. Was it Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania just got $164 million just recently to help fight or to help with people who are addicted to drugs. You got these methadone clinics everywhere. You know, it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. And I'm glad because I'm an addict. I have the experience of being a meth addict who went to jail, who went the whole probation route. And then I have the experience of being the husband, the neglectful husband, the neglectful father, alcoholic. I mean, when I checked myself into detox, I blew a 0.297. I don't know where death is. I know it's up there pretty close.
0.3.
Yeah, I was.
We were on the cusp.
I was on a 4-day, maybe 5-day serious, probably more like a five day. But the 4 days of it was when I was drinking gallons. As soon as I woke up, I would drink till I passed out, drink, blob up again and drink till I passed out. For those of you who haven't seen, I will show you a picture of myself. Heads up, Link. You want to get out of the way just for a second, bud? So I was going through my pictures and came across this. Some of you have seen it. Some of you have not. I'm in my motorhome. It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And this is August 17th, 10 a.m. That's a half gallon of whiskey on my lap. And that's not the only one I drank that week. And I drank probably, I don't know, 3 or I don't know. I think 3 to 6 of them.
I drank lots of them.
I drank a lot of those that weekend. And it was only 2 days later after this picture was taken that I checked myself into the hospital to detox for 3 to 5 days, however long I was there. And I was so drunk when I went and checked myself into detox that they actually sent me home to sleep it off. And here you see me today.
I encourage you, Cody, to be very honest with your wife and your kids, because they already know, they already see it. There's no hiding it. It's just, it helps to be honest so everybody's on the same page, and then you guys can start to heal together.
Family recovery, because why?
We recover better
Together.
Oh, and something about trust. Trust is like when you crumble up a piece of paper and you try to straighten it out. It will never be this flat, perfect piece of paper ever again. You'll always have that one wrinkle.
It's true. It is hard to get your trust back. And, once we get into 6 months of sobriety and where they still don't believe us, we get a little bit of offended by that, but just hang in there. Where are we at here? What'd Sober James say? One thing that helps me relinquish caring what people think of me is I'm not that important. People aren't thinking of me. That's true. It is isn't a character defect to be self-important? Self-importance is a character defect. I'm so important. Like, so I had a process with my good point, James. With my counselor, I had to process a character defect, and it was with my dad, and an issue I have with my dad. And he's like, "Oh, you're so important that you have to have a father that acts the way that you think he should act. You're so important." And I was just like, "Oh, yeah, I guess you don't choose who your parents are. He is who he is. I am who I am, and he does not define me," and all that good jazz. He walked me through it really well. Resentment's still there though.
working on
Still working on that one.
It's a process.
All the practicing in my house are suddenly very busy.
Oh,
The
weird.
kid in particular, go smoking a fatty and chill. The meth addict is cooking, and I don't think they ate food. More bad jokes. Bob, get out your phone, start recording all this, and then clip it together with some funny things and make a cool video.
Speaking of funny things, I got some jokes.
Oh, Link, you got a joke.
Let's see. What's the best thing about Switzerland?
What?
I don't know, but their flag has a big plus.
That's a good one. For those of you that are new to the channel, this is Link Tai. 3 years ago, he was in a severe accident and he got his head crushed by a UTV. And after that, that's when my drinking, I was an alcoholic before. I'm not using it as an excuse, but that's when my drinking took off. I was drinking fifths and gallons on the weekend, but he lived through it. He's a miracle. There's a whole story. We can share that another time. I was sharing a lot of it yesterday. But just to let you know, he's a part of the channel and he was affected. He's one of the ones that came up, or he is the son that I have 3 boys. He's the son that came up to me after a few months of sobriety and was like, "It feels good to have my real dad back, not my drunk dad." And I was just like, "Oh, your kids know a lot more than you think too. And your work knows a lot more than you think too." I mean, I went in there shaking and stinking and my eyes were bulging and bloodshot. And it didn't matter how much eye drops I used. My eyes were bloodshot. It was bad. What did Tracy say? Grateful for my recovery and finding y'all on my journey. Amen, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for a new face, a new personality, a new outlook on recovery. That all helps. Link is his spirit animal. The Link's spirit animal is an owl. Who?
Who? Oh my gosh.
Where's Cody? What's Cody saying? Cody, how long you been sober now? Are you at work or are you drinking today? That's awesome. My kids are the most important thing to me, and I not only want this for me, I want this for them. And my wife is a champ. I expect her to be gone every time I wake up. Well, Cody, I imagine if I still drank, there would be a point she would have left. I mean, we could only take that for granted for so long, I think, until there's that straw that breaks the camel's back, or we go do something unforgivable and unredeemable, or we just leave ourselves. Maybe we're the ones that check out.
Yeah, I don't know that we would have been divorced, but we might have separated for a minute had
Yeah.
it gotten real bad.
Oh, let's give Tracy some of those hearts. Boom. Hey, Gina. Indiana in the house. Washington in the house.
New Mexico in the house.
Where's Polly? He's probably still sleeping, man. Polly called me last night pretty late and he lives out in New Jersey.
College from New Jersey.
He's doing good though. So if you guys are wondering about Polly, he's doing good. He's working his program. He's,
Staying strong.
his head is in the right place and he's doing good. So
He's out there.
love Polly. We love Polly. I had to turn the volume down when you read my chat. I'm so sneaky. I was going to write. Turn it down again. I was going to write Meth Mobile on the tailgate of their nasty trucks. That's hilarious, Bob. Bob, you cracked me up.
That. It's too late, Bobby.
Oh, shit. Yeah, put that at the beginning, Bob. Oh, boy. You can do it, Cody. Murd is right. I agree with Murd. If I'm getting too loud, let me know so I can control the volume. This little new setup we got here is new as of a couple days ago. And I don't know if my mic settings are right, if I got it too close to my face. Because when I get to going, like James said, man, I start sweating, I start yelling, I get excited. My parents were the first resentments I dealt with. The resentment I had to face and let go of. That I wasn't even aware of until I worked step 4. I resented myself for not living up to my potential. Yeah, I had a lot of resentment. And then now, like when I made that, I don't know if you guys saw my perspective video, but when I go walking past the houses that I grew up in at 6 years old, and then my parents got divorced, I was really just stuck in thinking about my past that week. And I was thinking about what I remember it being like when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 13, and then what I was told it was like, and then what actually happened. And a little more resentment built. And
I got something to say to Cody. The words that come out of your heart are twice as strong as the words that come out of your mouth.
ooh, that's a good one, Leaky. Thank you.
I should know that.
You just made that up?
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, you're so smart, man. You're so smart.
Should write a book, bud.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson
Cut the
said-
volume, not in the nick time. Freaking Bob.
Mr. Wilson says I
I'm
should-
still dealing with resentment. Me too. I try not to.
and anger.
Yeah, resentment brings my anger. Resentment's an evil thing, man. Evil thing. All right, let's talk about this little $50 giveaway I was talking about. So, like I said, nothing is free, but if you take and share, let me put that in the link. Okay, this is the rules. There are rules.
All right.
What did I do with it? There it is.
On the big speakers. Yes. It'll come up.
Hey, Facebook user, it doesn't show your name. So if you want us to know who you are, throw your name on there and then I can talk to you by name. So this video that I just put in here is a video that I made and produced. It's about alcoholism, and there's a little test at the end, and it's the first time that I introduced my character, because I made 3 videos. I have 3 characters: me, who's me in real life, and then I have Leonard, who's like the good angel, even though you can't tell because he looks like an undercover 70s cop, and then Ted, who's my evil addict, who has talked to me and taken me into, the addict that talks to you. You're Ted. But that's who Ted is. So this is a first introduction of my character, Leonard. And at the end, it takes you through an extensive test, not extensive, but a test to show how bad your drinking problem really is. So you take this video. This is the rules. Ready? You take this video, you share it on social media that you are involved in, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And as soon as you share that video on your social media, take a screenshot of it. Join. Most of you are in our private Facebook page. If not, I will post that.
Thank you, Cody.
That's it right there. Here is my private Facebook page. The user that posted is in that page. Upload that screenshot to the private Facebook page that you shared my video with your either Venmo or Cash App name. And on Tuesday, I will take all the names. I'll gather them right here in front of you. I can do a screen sharing thing. We'll put them in a hat. I will pull out the name, and that will be the winner. And I will here online with my phone, either Venmo or Cash App, and send you $50.
Veronica, the link, the video link, not the one we're watching right now.
No, the link, this one up here, this one right here. the GOQ011. This is the video to that video I was talking about. You share that link on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whatever you're involved in. Screenshot it, post it on our private Facebook group, which is Recovering Addict. It's a private Facebook group for us to do during the day. You post that on there with the proof, with your Venmo or your Cash App screen name, whatever. And then Tuesday, we will draw a winner out of the hat, and on the spot at the 30-hour mark at 8:30, I will send you guys, whoever the winner is, $50. Because we are here to give.
We're givers.
We are givers, but obviously we're not giving for free. You got to share the video. Thank you, Lynn. But I don't know who to share them with. Just throw it on Twitter or Instagram.
Share it with the world.
She only has YouTube. If you scroll down, like.
Oh, is that what she said? She only has
not on
YouTube?
Any other social media.
Email it to somebody.
Yeah, email.
Email it to family.
And Lynn, since you're a regular, if you attempt to share and you can't, that's fine. Throw your Venmo up there and we'll throw your name in the hat. Because Lynn, you've been here since the very beginning.
Hey, Dennis here.
Hey, Danny, welcome.
Danny.
You're a little earlier than usual.
Bob. What was Bob's comment? Right at the top.
Where? Oh, Bob. So I used to be real bad with resentments. I had a boatload of them, and they controlled my life. I am a free man today from resentment. Good. It feels good to resentment. It builds up in me still, like I said before, but then I have to remember what my counselor said and walk my way out of it. I can't give that character defect hold. The thought comes in the front door. I usher it out the back door. I don't sit down and have lunch with it. No, Raina, not this video. Please post that one again. The video that Felice is about to post in the link is the video that I'm talking about. It's my alcohol video. It's an alcoholic test. It's the very first video that I did.
I don't know if it's gonna let me. It doesn't let me post links usually.
Like it did there.
It'll show up here, but sometimes it'll show up there.
What is your deal?
Maybe
Why doesn't it work? It's weird.
Maybe
Is it because
because
it's separated out?
No, I think it's because I'm not you. I think you are the only one that has control over
No.
sharing links.
No. Somebody try. Sober James, if you're still on here, share a link to your page so that people that haven't seen yours yet, we have some new people in here that I know that don't know about your channel. Here's another thing for the new people that have joined today. What we do is we have Nicole that comes on at 6 o'clock at Real Talk Recovery. Then at 7 o'clock, we have Sober James. And then at 8 o'clock, you have me and the family here at Recovering Addict. James, if you're still around, see if you can post a link to our chat because Fleece can't for some reason. Let's see if it's possible. I don't know what the deal is.
No, I've tried a few times and they won't let me do it.
So Bob has worked the steps enough. I just don't have anybody or anything renting space in my head for free. Not anymore. I love it. Awesome. Yeah, renting space in your head. That's a good way to put it, man. Expectations are premeditated resentments. That is so true.
That is very true.
Wow. I just have to think about that. I'm going to meditate on that one for a while. You know how I like to overthink things, and that's going to be one I'm going to enjoy overthinking. I'll be saying that a lot tomorrow.
Who's ready for another joke?
Who is ready for another joke from Linky?
I told my wife she's drawing her eyebrows too high. She looks surprised.
That's a good one. All right, you're in control, babe. I have to use the bathroom.
Okay.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna post that link again for Raina.
I'll be explaining the rules.
Hold on, let me find it. It'll let me post it from his computer, but not mine.
Okay.
Copy.
Toothpaste.
Where's the paste button?
It's
Okay, Raina, this is for you. I think, unless it hates me, I think it hates me. What the heck? I don't want to learn more.
wait. Another joke.
Yeah, do another joke.
What type of pants do clouds wear? Thunder pants.
Copy.
Toothpaste.
Paste. Yes. Hit enter. Enter. Ah, there it is, Raina. Are you looking? I figured it since that's that link that Recovering Addict just shared. That's the video. Monetator. Oh, when you dig deep enough into. Let's see. I'm missing something here. Yes, Bob, my sponsor says that right there. When you dig deep enough into your step work, you learn the relationship between fear and resentment. Might have to look into that. Because I found myself starting to resent LT, and then that's when I got counseling and realized I needed to fix myself. And like Alicia said, to not have these high expectations, to just day by day. There's Silver James. It's not blue because not a monitor. There's the link.
Oh, well.
Raina.
Did you figure out how to do it? No?
Just from yours. I can't do it from mine.
Okay. So I just, 11 people. Everybody bailed. Last time I leave you in charge of the show.
I fired twice today.
That's twice. That is twice. So I talked to my daughter, and guess what? It was her that posted "I hate you."
Oh, what
So,
a turd.
After the show, we'll be calling Nicole at Real Talk Recovery on our cell phone, and she'll be apologizing.
Just say why?
She said she was bored.
This quarantine's got us all crazy.
Quarantine's got everybody going crazy. She doesn't need to come over here.
What do you need? You need Linky?
No, go shut off the Xbox. What are we at here? All right, let's pick up back on this book real quick. So the relapse progression, right? Relapse starts way before you have a drink. It starts way before you start skipping AA. It starts subconsciously up here, and you may not even know it. And then you bring your denial over from your addiction, and you use your addiction, your character defects from addiction in your relapse. And relapse starts when you stop going up that down elevator. That's when relapse starts. And then drinking is when you hit the bottom. And this is where we are at now. So there are 37 warning signs of relapse. Those were identified back in 1973 by Terence Gorski, the author of this book. So we looked at a few of them yesterday. And they're in different phases. There's a couple per phase. And then phase one is the internal change. You have the increased stress. You have the change in thinking. You have the change in feeling. And then your behavior starts to change. And then phase two, you go into denial. It says, during this phase, I stopped paying attention to honesty, telling others what I'm thinking and feeling. And the most common relapse signs here in phase two of denial are worrying about yourself or denying that you're worried. And then you go into phase three, and we can break these down a little more if you want to. If you have a question on one of them, I can break and read into it a little bit deeper. Awesome, Tracy. Thank you. Boom. Did you get a screenshot of it? And then join that Facebook page and post it there. Phase three is avoidance and defensiveness. During this phase, I try to avoid anyone or anything that will force me to be honest about how I'm thinking. So if I'm confronted directly, I get defensive and can't hear what others are trying to tell me. And the most common relapse warning signs are believing that I'll never use alcohol or drugs again. A lot of people believe that their firm commitment, their confirmed resolve to not use drugs and to not drink ever again, that they've put their foot down, that they've made up their mind and it's not going to happen, is a lie. And this is what it says. It says, I convince myself that I don't need to put a lot of energy into my recovery today because I will probably never go back to drugs or alcohol. Because of your confirm, you put more belief and more hope and trust in your commitment to being sober than you do in actually working a program. So therefore you lax and say, I don't need a program. It ain't for me. You tend to tell this belief to yourself. And sometimes it says, I am afraid to tell my counselor or other recovering people about this belief for fear of being confronted. At other times, I think that it is none of their business. And then it's not working your program. It's working somebody else's program. You worry about others instead of yourself. It's called working the other guy's program. Defensiveness. You feel reluctant to discuss personal problems and what is going on and what you're doing in your recovery because you're afraid to be criticized and confronted. So that's another sign, is when you start getting defensive about you and somebody says, hey, I don't know if you're doing so good, bud. When you get called out a little bit by a counselor or a sponsor or maybe a friend who knows you in recovery. And then compulsive behavior. I'm just going to read this one so we can get a good idea what it is. Read in first person, it says, I start using compulsive behaviors to keep my mind off how uncomfortable I am feeling. I get stuck in old, rigid, and self-defeating ways of thinking and acting. I tend to do the same thing over and over without good reason. I try to control conversations either by talking too much or not talking at all. I start working more than I need to and get involved in many activities. Other people think I am the model recovery because I am of my heavy involvement in 12-step work and chairing meetings. I become active in therapy group by playing the therapist, but I'm reluctant to talk about my personal problems. I avoid casual or informal involvement with people unless I can be in control. Putting on a front is a compulsive behavior, taking over conversations, and then when it comes to your turn to get down, like I think yesterday when I read this, we referred to what Steve said Wednesday that he was on our show. Sometimes it's your turn to share, and sometimes it's your turn to listen. And by listening, it's not just hearing the words, but it's internalizing them and changing them and reflecting on what you're doing wrong in your recovery. Does that make sense? And then you got the impulsive behaviors. That was a compulsive behavior. And then we have impulsive behaviors. You start creating problems for yourself by using poor judgment. This usually happens at times of high stress. We can all relate to that right now. Sometimes you privately feel bad and tend to make excuses and blame others for the problem. And then you have tendencies toward loneliness. Start feeling uncomfortable around others and you start spending more time alone. Well, right now we don't have that problem. We were forced to have time alone, but it's for a good reason. We don't want to spread this thing. And we can reach out other ways through Zoom, through, you guys all know. And then phase 4 is crisis building. It says, during this phase, I start having a problem in sobriety that I don't understand. Even though I want to solve these problems and work hard at it, 2 new problems pop up and replace every problem that I solve. And so the most common signs of relapse here are tunnel vision. You start to think that your life is made up of separate and unrelated parts. You focus on small parts of life and block out everything else. Sometimes I focus only on good things and block out and ignore the bad. In this way, I can mistakenly believe everything is fine when it really isn't. At other times, I see only what is going wrong and blow it out of proportion. This causes me to feel like there is nothing going my way, even when there are many good things happening in my life. That's a good time to pause and reflect and say, what am I grateful for?
PTA.
I did steal a comment out of, I can't remember who, I should have wrote down who said it, out of Sober James's.
It's probably Arthur Unknown.
It says, wake up with gratitude on your, or go to sleep with gratitude on your mind and you will wake up better prepared to address the new day. Somebody put that in Sober James's comments and I was like, wow, that's awesome. All right. Another thing is minor depression. I start to feel depressed, down, blue, listless, and empty feeling. I lack energy and tend to sleep too much. I rarely feel good or full of life. I am able to distract myself from these moods by getting busy with other things and not talking about depression. Loss of constructive planning. I stopped planning ahead and thinking about what I'm going to do next. I began to think of the slogan, one day at a time, means that I should not plan ahead or think of what I'm going to do. I pay less and less attention to details. I become restless. Why does it say listless? Oh, listless, because you're not making a list and planning. My plans are based more on wishful thinking, how I wish things would be. That's a fantasy, than reality of how things actually are. That's the one thing we need to focus on. As a result, I make plans that are not realistic. I stop paying attention to the details and implementing those plans. Interesting. What are you guys' thoughts on all that I just read right there?
Want to start with Matt or go up to Bob?
Bob.
He's the very top one.
Bob says, yeah, I screwed the pooch. Hey, Bob, I'm about to read. You might want to turn this down. I screwed the pooch with my relapse. 14 years with nothing stronger than aspirin and right out the window. I'd have 28 years now. Dang it, Bob. See that? I think last time we talked about this, Bob, you said you were maybe this guy, the compulsive behavior. Other people think that I'm the model recovery because of my heavy involvement in 12-step work and chairing meetings. I become active in my therapy group by playing therapist, but I am reluctant to talk about my personal problems. Maybe that was you, Bob. And that's one thing we should all watch for. Us here on the Recovery Channel, we think maybe, ooh, look at us. We're talking and we got people talking to us. Maybe we know a lot, but that's not the case. I do this to help me because it keeps me focused in recovery, and I truly love listening and reading your comments.
God only knows.
God only knows
What you've been through.
God only knows what they say about you.
and that caused him to die 1,000 deaths. What's up, Jennifer Johnson? Welcome. Glad you're here.
Glad to hear, Jennifer.
Matt says, me and my sponsor have been telling each other 10 things we are grateful for every morning and every night. Ooh, that's a good practice. Maybe we can all take something home. How about, oh, Matt, we're also doing a giveaway. So I'll rehash those rules. We got about 10, 15 minutes left of this broadcast before we dip out because they changed us to 4:10s. And so now we got to get up early. We have to start work at 4:30. And since I'm teleworking now, I have to get up at 4:29. But that's a good idea. So maybe tomorrow night's broadcast, this is every night at 8:00 until this coronavirus epidemic is over and done with. And we can actually get back to our regular fellowship. Until then, we'll be here every night at 8:00. So tomorrow, everybody bring 3 things that they are grateful for. Just 3. And remember the rules, or not rules, but the little challenge we gave ourselves. Is anybody still doing that? Waking up, first thing you do is pray. And then the second thing you do is start meditating on positive thoughts, throw gratitude in there. And then the third thing is the first person that you run into or talk to on the phone,
Give him a comment.
you lift them up with something uplifting.
The other one was to allow people to love you.
Oh, yeah. And then we talked about allowing people to love you and help you and just say thank you. It's tough stuff to do because it takes away the natural human inclinations of life to be ornery, angry, discontent, critical of other people, proud, and not being able to accept a gift. And if we live outside of our natural inclinations as humans, that's our character defects, then we will less likely to relapse. We will be more successful in our recovery, no doubt about it. Just got a notification from somebody. Oh, sweet. A friend from across the sea commented on there. How's everybody doing tonight? So if you just joined, this is what we're doing as far as the giveaway goes. If you share this video, I'm going to put it in the comments again. Whoops. Hope I didn't lose you guys. Sometimes I go clicking around, and one of these days I'm going to shut this off and you guys will never know what happened. So the video that I just posted in the comments, if you copy paste that, however you want to do it, you post that on your social media, your wife's social media, whatever, post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you screenshot that you shared it. You go to the Facebook group for Recovering Addict. It's a private group, and you post your screenshot there with your Venmo or your Cash App name. And Tuesday, we'll together go through that Facebook page, look for those screenshots. I will put the names in a hat. We'll shake it. We'll let Linky draw the name. And whoever's name we pull, I will pull my phone up on Venmo or Cash App, whichever you choose, and I will send you $50. That's the rules to the game of the giveaway. If we get blessed, we're going to throw it back at you. I'll just tell you that right now. That's going to be the motto for this, for our lives, for the possible next 32 years that I have to live, because
Is that our slogan? Blessed back at you.
blessed back at you, because we recover better together. Could be a song. Why don't you write a song about that, Linky? All right, let's finish up these
Staying sober.
31 dailies. 37 warning signs. There's 37. I gotta post. I'll do that. I'll make sure I do that tomorrow after I get off work, is to just write down just the first part of each one, all 37. I'll throw that into the Facebook group so that we can actually, print it off or take a screenshot of it or something and kind of meditate and think about each one so that when they arise in ourselves, we can
experience half of these.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just us. Relapse is not going back to the bottle or the drugs. It's your mental condition of going backwards in becoming a better you, a better person, dipping back into depression or anxiety, and then you rely on other things other than alcohol, eating disorders, or buying too much, or taking risks you shouldn't take by gambling, social distancing when we were able to be close to one another, you know what I mean? Or you stop missing your AA meetings, your behavior completely changes. It's when you stop on that down elevator, because you have to continue going up that down escalator, or you're not going to be in recovery. You're going to instantly go backwards. All right, so we got minor depression, you got loss of constructive planning, and then plans begin to fail. Your plans fail, and then the failure causes new problems. You tend to overcorrect, mismanage, and then that creates newer and bigger problems. And you start having the same kind of problems with work, friends, family, money. And then it just kind of spirals out of the control, right? Which gets all the other stuff going. All the other character defects start piling on when your plans begin to fail and you start mismanaging and overreacting. And then there's phase 5, immobilization. During this phase, I feel trapped in an endless stream of unmanageable problems and feel like giving up. I can't seem to get started or make myself do the things that I know that I need to do. Daydreaming and wishful thinking is what?
Good night, Asha.
Alicia.
Oh, good night, Alicia. Have a good night. So where are we at?
That's it.
Sleep well tonight. Have a good day at work if you're going to work. So daydreaming and wishful thinking. So it becomes more difficult to concentrate or figure things out. I have fantasies of escaping or being rescued from it all. Like you're all of a sudden, boop, you're going to pop out of it. Daydreaming and wishful thinking that somehow, someday, I don't know if you experienced this, but I've experienced this with every one of my addictions, with my drug use, with meth, cigarettes, alcohol. I see this one day like, oh, it's going to happen one day, just not today. And then I would use that as an excuse to continue to use drugs and keep drinking. And then you feel that nothing can be solved. When you get to this mental state, nothing can be solved. My problems are just too big, unlike anybody else's. I began to feel like a failure who will never be able to do anything right. The failures may be real or imagined. I exaggerate small problems, blow them out of proportion while failing to notice anything that I do right. I start believing that I have tried my best in recovery and working out. Our counselor used to always do that. Oh, this is good. We would complain or whatever, be on one of our rants when it was our turn to talk. And then he would take us through the day of everything we did right. And usually everything that day that you did right way outweighs the mistakes and little problems that arose. Even with his accident, that was the biggest trauma in one day that I've ever experienced in my life, holding him in my arms as he was dying. And even out of that, good things happened. And so when I walk through each day now, I just thought of this, is why I'm saying it out loud. Oh, darn, I couldn't get my computer to work. Oh, darn, the car wouldn't start. Nothing's ever going to, I don't think, top what we experienced with him, because even that day with his accident, it could have been worse. You can always say it could have been worse. It could have been worse, At least that's my thoughts. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it.
Same day, we're cleaning up the shop, and the weight's falling Amos.
Yep, that's true.
How it started.
So immature wish to be happy. I have a vague desire to be happy or to have things work out, but I don't set up any plans to make those things happen. I want to be happy, but I have no idea what I can do to make myself happy. I'm not willing to work hard or pay the price for happiness that I want. I start wishing that something magical would happen and rescue me from my problems. It's like listening to people at work fantasize and tell you what they're going to do with the money that they win when they go and buy the lottery ticket from Idaho. It's a pipe dream. And I've heard people have hour-long conversations about that. Holy cow, how many more of these we got? Maybe we will save the rest of them. We are at phase 6 of these 37 warning signs, but I'm going to type them up and I'll make sure that they're online on our private Facebook group. Let me throw that private Facebook group up there one more time for you guys, just so if you're not and you want to join, you can join. And that's a place you can drop your comments. You can post little videos. You can post whatever you want, as long as it has to do with recovery or your day, anything. I kick out trolls. There's been trolls that come in and say bad things, or they'll post pictures to trigger people, and I don't like that. So there's the private Facebook group. 100 good bricks, but our minds only see the one bad one. That's so true, Bob. That is so true.
Whoa. It's like OCD.
So Sober James has an awesome video about this. It was so interesting to me that you almost have a pre-relapse before you relapse, and you can catch it before it becomes a full-blown relapse. That's exactly what we're getting at, is that relapse is not drinking or doing drugs. Relapse starts before that. You are in relapse. You can actually relapse and come through and go into treatment and come out of relapse and never actually touch a drug. Relapse causes you to get into that drug and then you're back into drug addiction. And that's what this book is driving us to. And yeah, James has a great video on that.
I agree with Bob.
Or you're a line cook. You crank out 100 great meals, but then you send one bad plate. Yep, that's so true. Awesome. Welcome, Tracy, to the group. Right on. So glad we met each other. I was in that Zoom meeting with Tracy today. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. She had an awesome picture on her wall that I was really enjoying. I like pictures. I like taking pictures, so I notice those things. So this is how we like to end this thing. Okay, remember, share that video on any of your social media. Take a screenshot, post it on Recovering Addict with your Venmo or your Cash App. Tuesday, we will go through those names and I will draw a name out of the hat and we will send it. Okay, that's the game to the 50 bones. And the way we like to wrap these up is we go to the day, which is, what is today? The 30th?
Alexa, what's the date?
29th.
Is it the 29th? Mm-hmm. Good thing you said that. I was about to read the 30th. So we're going to read out of the daily reflections and then we're going to wrap this up and hit the sack because we got to get up at 4. Oh, I could have made that rhyme. Dang, I could have made that rhyme.
Nah, too late. You ruined it.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah. So trusted servants. They are servants. There is sometimes thankless privilege of doing the group's chores. In Zober the Greek, Nikos, I'm not even going to try saying that name. Nikos describes an encounter between his principal character and an old man busily at work planting a tree. What is it you are doing? Zobra asks. The old man replies, you can see very well what I am doing, my son. I am planting a tree. But why plant a tree? Zobra asks. If you won't be able to, why plant a tree if you won't be able to see it bear fruit? And the old man answered, I, my son, live as though I were never going to die. The response brings a faint smile to Zobra's lips, and he walks away and exclaims with a note of irony, how strange. I live as though I were going to die tomorrow. As a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, I have found that the third legacy is fertile soil in which to plant a tree of my sobriety. The fruits I harvest are wonderful: peace, security, understanding, and 24 hours of eternal fulfillment. And with the soundness of mind to listen to the voices of my consciousness when, in silence, it gently speaks to me, saying, you must let go in service. There are others who must plant and harvest. Cool. Go to service, plant a tree, even if you don't see it bear fruit. All right, ready? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
We love you guys.
Yes, we do. Work your program, stay strong, and remember, we recover better together. You all have a wonderful night and have a good day at work tomorrow, okay? If you have to go to work, have a good day. If you don't have to go to work, still have a good day. And we'll see it.
Every moment of it.
Yeah, cherish every moment, like he said. And we will see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock.